Alrighty guys, so today we're doing a little bit of something different here. Something different from what I've been doing, and that is fly fishing. So there's quite a bit of dust actually on the rod, but we're going fly fishing just because, why not? I've got one of my favorite flies, little beadhead fly right there. I guess that's the name of it. I don't really know. That's what I call it though. Caught a lot of fish on that fly. Now the problem with fly fishing right now is there's probably about, what is that? Wait a minute. Holy crap, I think there's a muskrat over there. Is that a muskrat? Hang on a second. I think there's a muskrat in the pond down at that end. Is that what that is? That looks like a muskrat. It's too small to be a beaver. That's a muskrat. Holy crap, there's a muskrat in the pond. Man, I ain't seen a muskrat in freaking years, dude. He's over here by the brush pile. Here, let's see if we can sneak up on him. He's right there. Look at that little turd. I ain't seen a muskrat in years, man. What in the world, man? I haven't seen a muskrat in years. That was either a muskrat or a really small beaver, and I doubt that it was a really small beaver. Well, that, as far as I've always known, muskrats are vegetarians, and they don't eat fish, so I don't think we really have to worry about getting it out of the pond, because I don't think it's going to eat any of the fish. From what I've always known about muskrats, they don't eat fish. Shouldn't be an otter, but you know what? Now I understand it. Because every day I come out here, there's more and more like tree limbs and stuff sitting over there. And now I understand why. There is a muskrat in this daggone pond. I don't believe it was a beaver. It dived like a beaver, but I don't think it was. It looked way too small. I mean, that thing looked probably maybe 2 or 3 pounds. It did not look the size of the beavers that normally live around here. Beavers that I've seen, you know, that we've caught around here before, you know, close to 25, 30 pounds. That was nowhere near a 25 or 30 pound beaver, that's for sure. Wow, man. I didn't see him when I came out here the first time. He must have just hopped up out of nowhere. Isn't that interesting? But anyway, like I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by Mr. Muskrat, we might have to name him unless we're going to take him out. I don't know if it's even muskrat season, so we might not even be able to take him out. We might have to name him. If you guys have names for the muskrat, let me know. We might name him. He might become the Dock Lure Company mascot or something. I don't know. But today I'm out here, we're just fly fishing. Got that little beadhead like I showed you there. One of my favorite flies, especially for clear water fly fishing, but right now it's got a lot of muddy water. I don't know if we're going to really throw a whole lot of flies. You know, I brought my drop shot because yesterday the pond seemed like it was getting a little bit clearer, and today it looks a little bit more on the muddier side today, so I don't know. We may not. That's interesting. I'll have to relay that information back to my dad and see what he wants to do with that. I don't know if it's even muskrat season. I don't know if we can even get him out, even if we needed to. But correct me if I'm wrong, people who watch my videos, but I'm pretty sure that muskrats are only vegetarians, because when we used to trap them, we used to use parsnips, like the normal, you know, eating parsnips that you get from Walmart. That's what we used to use to trap them. Put them on a little bitty conibear trap, or put them on a number 1 jump trap. That's what we used to use. But since the fur has pretty much just gone down to, it costs more to trap them than it does to actually get money off of them. You're going to be spending more than you're actually making, so we kind of just quit trapping. So I don't know what we're going to do about him. We'll have to do something about him, I'd say, before he starts tearing stuff up. maybe, I don't know. But I've been noticing there's been some random weeds and stuff that just be laying out in the pond, and random sticks and stuff. Like there's a stick sitting over there in the middle of the pond, right about there where my finger's at. There's just a random stick, and that random stick was not there before, and it is now. So I'm guessing that Mr. Muskrat has been messing with them. We'll probably see him here before the video ends, because I don't think they can last too long underneath water unless he's got a hut built up on that hillside, which I would not be too surprised of, because there is some debris that was not there when I came out here yesterday, and it is now. So he might be making a den or something up underneath that bank, which, I mean, honestly, I don't really care, because all that up there is just a hillside. We can't really even walk on it. Anytime I ever even walk on it, I almost fall into the pond. There's a couple spots. Right there's one. There's a couple other ones down through there where I've nearly fell into the pond because it's so steep and slick that it's almost impossible to walk. Oh no. I caught me a brush pile and I just freaking messed up my reel. I tried to cast in front of that brush pile and that's not what happened. But correct me if I'm wrong, down people in the comments. But I do believe that muskrats and beavers, I'm pretty sure muskrat and beavers are both vegetarians. I don't see that being a beaver. It looked way, way, way too small to be a beaver. It looked a lot more like a muskrat to me. I ain't seen one of them in probably a good 3 or 4 years, and probably even more than that, honestly. Last time we trapped heavily for any sort of critter was usually we just trap around the house, because there'd be a lot of raccoons that try to get in our trash. How's this going to go around? Go around here. Go around here. Nope. Fell out. There we go. That's how you do it right there. A good thing to keep in mind for anyone who is thinking about starting to fly fish or wanting to learn how to fly fish is, number one, you're going to have a lot of tangles. You're going to have a lot of unexplained tangles that you don't really know how they got there, but they're there now, and you have to deal with them. Trust me on that fact. You're going to have a lot more patience, and patience is normally a thing that I don't have much of. That's why I'm a bass fisherman instead of a cat fisherman. I'll fish around here for a little bit, because I know there's some areas right in here where this dead grass is. I know there's some spots where the bluegill like to hang out. Even though it's really cold and the grass is all dead, then bluegill still like to hang out right in this area, because that's where I caught my first fish of the year. Was a big old bluegill on a 1.5 inch swimmer by Doc's Lure Company. So I do believe that we might be able to catch something right in here. I'm just kind of keeping my eye on it, see if we can see that muskrat again, because that's pretty cool. I think we're going to go ahead and put this down, because I think it's way too muddy right now. We might come back to it, just depends. But the next thing that I've got is something that I know will catch fish. Just the water's muddy, and I don't know if it'll catch a fish today because of how muddy the water is. Today is also Daytona 500, but that pre-race show takes so long that I ain't gonna sit there and watch them talk for an hour and a half. So I figured I'm gonna come out here and make a video before the race gets going. So I got my 4-inch Ultra Finesse worm here set up. Throw that guy right out there a little ways. That is really interesting, though, that there's a muskrat in here. I'm excited to have, you know, things like that in here. I think it's pretty cool. There's only been a few times where I've seen wildlife other than fish in this pond. I've seen a couple wood ducks. I've seen a couple other kind of ducks. Don't really know what they were. They were just kind of fish that were or birds that were sitting on the water. Don't really know what kind of birds they were. I've also seen deer out here drinking in the water. I've seen a couple blue herons, stuff like that. But I've seen a groundhog also out here. That groundhog, he lives up in that brush right over there. But that's pretty cool that there's a muskrat in here now. Hopefully it ain't an otter. I've seen otters before, and that one there did not look like an otter. It looked a lot more like a muskrat. We've had otters before I quit trapping, because it wasn't getting to the point where it was costing more to go and check the traps than what we were making out of the traps. So right when we was about to stop, I had my dad set up a trap. I helped him set it up because he knows a lot more how to set it up. I just kind of looked for the areas to set it up. And he had the bibs, the overall things, the waders, that's what they're called, to go out across the creek. So I told him, I said, you see that? There's a slide. And it's a very common trapping term. A lot of trappers that watch this video will know what a slide is, but it's basically like a run that the animal, whether it's a muskrat, otter, beaver, whatever it is, it goes down and it kind of slides into the water. We found this slide and we hadn't set a trap on it yet, and we were getting down to the point where we were like, all right, we're going to have to pack up and get ready to go. So I told my dad, I said, hey, let's set a trap right there and just leave it, and we'll come back the next day and we'll see if there's anything in it. And before this, oh, he was right here. There he is. He was right there. I shouldn't have came up here. There's something else right here too. He's crawling along here. There he is. It's a muskrat. It's a muskrat. I just seen his tail. He just went underneath the bank. He's right there. He's right here by my feet. He's eating this root. He's eating the roots right now. Let's see it moving. There's his tail. He's right here. There he goes. He just swam off. There he is. There he is. Look at that, you guys. Holy crap. I caught it on video too. Holy crap. That's awesome. Okay, so I know it's a muskrat now. It's 100% a muskrat. I could have, if I wanted to, I could have grabbed his tail. But I don't feel like getting... There he is. He's swimming across there. Look at that little turd. Little turd, man. That's what we used to call him when we was trapping for him, because them things were smart. The ones we were trapping for were smart. We'd always call them a little turd because they were always smarter than us. That is cool, man. I seen something move here. There must be a lot more than just one. There has to be more than one. Because, I mean, that thing was moving really fast. It was right here. And all of a sudden I seen this move. And then I just seen a couple more swirls. And then all of a sudden he was right here. Either there's more than one, or he's a really fast little booger. That's all that I can say. He's either really fast, or there's more than one. But anyway, we'll get back to the trapping story here. When we were trapping, I had him set that trap over there, and before this, we'd found some small dead bluegill sitting on top of the ice. And we kind of really didn't think much of it. We kind of maybe thought it was a blue heron or something. We didn't really think a whole lot of it until one day we were sitting there and he was getting ready to get a possum. I believe it was a possum. It might have been a raccoon. Coon. I say, don't get offended if I call him a coon. That's just what I call him. We're from redneck world, and that's what we've always called them. But nowadays it seems like that's a racist term or whatever. I don't really care. That's just what I've always called him. But he's getting that coon out of the trap, and all of a sudden I look over down the bank, about maybe 20 or 30 yards down the bank, and I see something. I mean, I'm talking, it looked like a really, really big wiener dog. it just looked like a 40-pound wiener dog. And I was like, what in the world is that? So oh, it came off. I think it was a brush pile. I know it was a brush pile because there's a stick. Oh, there he was. This is actually pretty cool. I'll have to look in my hunting book and see if it's muskrat season, and if it is, then I might make some videos of muskrat hunting. Muskrat hunting or fishing. Maybe we'll go fishing for him. Maybe I'll tie on a treble hook and a 1/4 ounce bullet weight, and we'll go fishing for a muskrat. Oh, he's right here. Holy crap, look at that, you guys. Look at that little turkey. I'll be darned. He's right here. I didn't even know it. Them things are smart. Looky there. There he is. I don't know why he keeps coming up and getting scared. He knows I'm here. Wow, look at that. I've never got anything. Here he was. He's by the water pump. Hopefully he don't mess with that water pump. He's probably going to come up. There he is. He's moving. I can see him. I can see his bubble trail moving. Might do some snagging for him like they do for them gators down in Louisiana. I don't know if that's legal though. Might have to look into that. Before I do it, I'll look into it and make sure it's not legal or not illegal. That way I don't get busted for doing illegal activity when I don't even know. But anyway, I see this giant, real long wiener dog looking thing. And I'm like, what in the world is that? So I'm like, holy crap, Dad, there's some kind of dog looking thing down there. And because, you know, otters are a pretty rare animal around here, to be honest. I mean, they're not exactly something you see every day. They're a lot like a badger, because a badger, you know, even though people say there's no badgers and there's no bobcats around here, people who live around here know the truth. You know, I've seen bobcats, and I've seen otters, and I've seen badgers too. But the DNR people say they're not around here, but I know they are because I've seen them. I've seen quite a few otters. One we caught, and then I've seen a couple more since then. And I've also seen a badger, and I've also seen a couple bobcats. Oops, the stick broke. I was going to throw it back. Brush pile. Throw that brush pile back in there. I don't know if I'm going to even want to wash my hands. Just quickly do that. That way I don't get bit by nothing. I don't want to mess with a live muskrat because